Hi everybody, Mr. S here, and it's Friday! Yes, a fabulous Friday, and a good Friday for those that celebrate this particular day. It's also our last day for our story, Flat Stanley, Stanley Flat Again. The author is, of course, Jeff Brown, and the illustrator is Mackie Pamantwin. Be sure to check out the previous videos and catch up what we're doing right now. So as promised, 2 final chapters. Here we go. Ready? I am. Be sure to use your imagination for this. Let's begin. Chapter 8. Hero. There was much rejoicing in the courtyard. Mrs. Lambchop kissed Stanley and Arthur. Mrs. Weeks kissed Emma, and then everyone else, even Flash Tobin, who had arrived to take pictures. Mr. Lambchop shook hands with Mr. Weeks and Chief Johnson, who announced several times that Stanley was a great hero. I think so too. Flash Tobin took a group picture of all the Lambchops. Need one more, he said. Emma, just you and Stanley. You're a hero, right? Save your life. Oh, I could have gotten out by myself, Emma said. I just didn't know exactly where the door was. But she went to stand by Stanley. Smile. Flash Tobin took the picture. Yes, that's good. He gave Stanley a cheerful slap on the back, just as Emma's elbow jabbed hard into Stanley's rib. Ow! Stanley yelled. Emma grinned. That's for you, Mr. Hero. Are you crazy? What? Stanley stopped. Everybody was staring at him. He felt peculiar, as if, yes, he was getting round again. Wow, Emma said. How do you do that? Try to think what Dr. Dan said towards the beginning of the story. Do you remember? Hooray for you, dear! Shouted Mrs. Lambchop, and more cries rose from the others in the courtyard. Do you see what I see? He's blowing up! Are we crazy or what? Flash Tobin aimed his camera again. Hold it, kid! But he was too late. Before him now stood a smiling Stanley Lambchop, shaped like a regular boy. Mr. Lambchop ran to hug him, and everyone else applauded. Been 30 years in the fire department and never saw anything like that, said Chief Johnson. Wouldn't have missed it. I'm really glad, Stanley said, but what made it happen? What Dr. Dean said, shouted Arthur. Remember the osteoposteo, whatever. The OBP, the osteo balance point, Mr. Lambchop smiled. Yes, the slap on the back from Flash Tobin and the poke from Emma, that did it. A board fell on the tilting roof of the Merker building, landing in a corner of the courtyard. Let's go, folks, said Chief Johnson. We're not safe here. A moment later, back out in the street, there was more hugging and kissing and saying goodnight. Suddenly behind them, there was a great creaking and grinding sounds. Turning, they watched what was left of the Merker building come crashing down. Emma spoke first. Oh, boy, she said softly. Wow. Mrs. Weeks caught her eye and gave a little nod to Stanley. Emma looked puzzled. Huh? Oh, yeah. She turned to Stanley. I guess maybe you know, saved my life, whatever. She kissed his cheek. Thank you very much, Stanley Lambchop. Oh, it's okay, Stanley said, quite red in the face. You're welcome. Everyone went home. Chapter 9. Fame. At bedtime the next evening, the Lambchops read again the Daily Sentinel they had enjoyed so much at breakfast that morning. The front page headline read, Rude Girl Saved, Flat Rescuer Regained Shape. There were also 2 Flash Tobin photographs, the Lambchop family picture and the one of Stanley and Emma taken just before she poked him in the ribs. Arthur was particularly pleased with the family picture. Finally, he said, not just Stanley. People could have been wondering if he had a brother, you know. Can I have this one? You may, said Mrs. Lambchop. And I want the one of Stanley with Emma for my kitchen wall. I don't care about pictures, Stanley said. I just hope I never get flat again. Mrs. Lambchop patted his hand. I told Dr. Dan of your recovery, dear. He thinks it most unlikely the flatness will occur again. Yay! Said Stanley. He's back to normal again. For now. Arthur cut the family picture out of the paper and used a red pencil to draw an arrow, pointing up at him in the white space at the bottom. Under the arrow, he wrote, Hero's Brother. Then he taped the picture to the wall above his bed. Soon, all the Lambchops were asleep. And as all stories end, the end. There they are. And that's the end of Flat Stanley. Stanley Flat again. Again, the author is Jeff Brown. The illustrator is Mackie Pamantwin. Well, it was a great week of reading Flat Stanley. Sorry about that. Flat Stanley. Hope you had a great time. I know I did. And as always, please remember to be good humans. Take care of one another. Take care of yourselves. And next week, I'll be reading stories in English and in Spanish. So be ready for that. Again, happy Friday to all. And that's it, folks. See you next week. Bye.